My girlfriend texted, "I'll be staying at Jake's tonight. Don't wait up." I replied, "Thanks for letting me know." Then I packed her entire wardrobe in boxes and left them at Jake's door. Her 3 a.m. panic call confirmed she'd made her choice. I am sitting here at 4 a.m., phone on silent, watching my ex-girlfriend Kendra, 25, blow up my screen with increasingly desperate messages. 3 hours ago she was banging on my door. 2 hours ago she was crying outside Jake's apartment. Now she's at her friend's place, finally understanding what consequences means. Let me rewind to yesterday afternoon. We've been together 2 years, living together for 8 months in my apartment. Things had been off lately. She'd been distant, secretive with her phone, working late a lot. Classic signs, but I wanted to trust her. Then at 6 p.m. yesterday, while I'm making dinner for us, she texts me, "Kendra, hey, gonna stay at Jake's tonight. Don't wait up." Jake, her work friend, who she swears is just a colleague, despite him commenting heart emojis on all her photos and texting her at midnight about work stuff. Me, "Thanks for letting me know." That's it? No questions? Me, "You've made your choice. Have a good night. Don't be dramatic, we're working on a project." Okay. She sent 3 more texts trying to get a reaction, explaining how it's totally innocent and I'm being weird by not responding more. I didn't reply. Here's the thing about Kendra. She moved into my apartment. She pays no rent, was saving for her student loans. Her name's not on the lease. I cover utilities, groceries, everything. She contributes maybe $200 a month for shared expenses when she remembers. I was fine with it because I loved her and made decent money as a software developer. But if she wants to stay at Jake's? Cool, she can stay there permanently. I turned off the stove, dinner half made, and got to work. First, I went to our bedroom and started packing. Every piece of clothing, sorted, folded, and placed in boxes. Her makeup, toiletries, hair tools, all carefully wrapped and packed. Her jewelry, accessories, shoes, everything organized and boxed up. Even stripped her pillowcase off and folded it neatly on top. Took me 3 hours and 8 large boxes plus 2 suitcases. I was methodical about it. Even included the phone charger she always forgets and her favorite coffee mug. By 10 p.m., I had everything loaded in my car. Looked up Jake's address from when she had me drop her off for a team meeting last month. 20-minute drive. Got there at 10:30. His apartment building has a secured entrance, but someone was leaving and held the door. Thanks, random stranger. Found his unit on the 3rd floor. Could hear music and laughter inside. Definitely didn't sound like a work meeting. I stacked everything neatly outside his door. All 8 boxes, both suitcases. Took a photo for my records. Then I left a note on top. "Kendra's belongings as requested. She's all yours now. Her ex." Drove home. Changed the locks. 24-hour locksmith, $180 worth every penny. Updated my door code. Removed her from my Netflix, Spotify, gym membership, and Amazon Prime. Canceled the credit card I'd given her for emergencies, which she used for Starbucks daily. Then I made myself a nice dinner with what I'd started earlier. Opened a beer and watched a movie. At 11:45 p.m., the first call came. Ignored it. Then another. Then texts started flooding in. "Kendra, what is this? Why is my stuff at Jake's? This isn't funny. Pick up the phone now. I'm coming home." At 12:30 a.m., she was at my door. Key didn't work. Doorbell started going crazy, banging on the door. "Kendra, open the door. This is insane." I texted back once. "You chose to stay at Jake's. I helped you move. Please stop disturbing the neighbors." She called 83 times in the next hour. I put my phone on silent and went to bed. At 3 a.m., she called from her friend Mia's phone. I actually answered that one, thinking it might be an emergency. "Kendra, you psycho. You can't just kick me out." Me, "You moved out when you decided to spend the night at another man's house. It was one night. For work. If it was for work, your company would have paid for a hotel. You chose Jake's bed." "I wasn't. We weren't. Nothing happened." "Doesn't matter now. Your stuff is there. You're there. We're done. Where am I supposed to live?" "You chose Jake's last night. Seems like that's your answer." He has a girlfriend. She showed up and saw all my stuff. She's freaking out." "Sounds like Jake's problem." "You did this on purpose." "I did exactly what you asked. You wanted to stay at Jake's. Now you can stay there forever." She started sobbing. The entitled princess who thought she could have her cake and eat it too was finally facing reality. I have nowhere to go. Me. Should have thought about that before. I'll call the police. Me, please do. Explain to them how your ex-boyfriend packed your belongings and delivered them to the address where you said you'd be staying. I'm sure they'll find that fascinating. Click. It's now 4 a.m. She sent 127 messages, ranging from threats to apologies to more threats. My favorite one, you'll regret this when you're alone forever. Lady, I'd rather be alone than be anyone's safety net while they shop around for better options. Update coming soon. This is just getting started. Update 1. Well, the entitlement escalated quickly. Woke up at 8 a.m. to my landlord calling. Apparently, Kendra showed up at his office at 7:30 a.m. demanding a key, claiming there was a mistake with the locks. He called me to verify. Me, no mistake. She moved out last night. Landlord, she says she's on the lease. She's not. Never has been. I can send you the original lease if needed. No need, I have it here, just checking. She's very insistent. She's also no longer my problem. He actually chuckled. Roger that, I'll handle it. By 9 a.m., the flying monkeys started. First was her mom. Darlene, how dare you throw my daughter out on the street? She chose to stay at another man's house. I simply facilitated her move. She made one mistake. No, she made a choice. I respected it. You're legally obligated to give her 30 days notice. She was never a tenant, never paid rent, no lease. She was a guest who chose to leave. She'll sue you. For what? Delivering her belongings to the address she said she'd be at? You're a monster. I'm a man who won't be disrespected in his own home. Have a nice day. Then came Jake. Jake had the audacity to call me. Bro, what the hell? Me, Jake, how's your girlfriend handling the news? That was messed up, man. What was messed up was you inviting my girlfriend for a sleepover. It wasn't like that. Then you won't mind if I forward your Instagram DMs with her to your girlfriend? The ones where you call her baby and talk about what you want to do to her? Silence. Yeah, Kendra left her iPad signed in. Noticed it this morning. Read some very interesting messages. Screenshots saved. Jake, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. You wanted to play with someone else's girlfriend. Now you can have her full time. Congratulations. I don't want her stuff here. Me, then tell her to come get it. Not my problem. She says you won't let her. I delivered it to you. What happens next is between you two. He hung up. But here's where it gets really good. Around noon, Kendra shows up with a police officer. Officer, this woman says you've illegally evicted her. Me, officer, she was a guest in my apartment. She texted me yesterday saying she was staying elsewhere for the night. I packed her belongings and delivered them to that address. She's never paid rent, never been on the lease, has no tenant rights. Officer, ma'am, do you have proof of residency? Rent receipts? Lease agreement? I lived here. My mail comes here. I can show you the text where she said she was staying at Jake's last night. I also have screenshots of messages between her and Jake planning their evening together. Showed him the texts. His eyebrows went up. Officer, ma'am, appears you voluntarily left and he delivered your belongings to where you said you'd be. This is a civil matter, not criminal. But I have nowhere to go. That's not his responsibility. You'll need to make arrangements. The officer left. Kendra stood there staring at me. How could you do this to me? How could you text me that you're staying at another man's house and expect me to be okay with it? It was a test. I actually laughed. A test? To see if you'd fight for me. If you really loved me, you would have been jealous. If you really loved me, you wouldn't play games. You failed your own test. You're supposed to chase after me. I'm not a dog. I don't chase. I replace. Her face went from entitled to panicked. Replace? Me. Already texted Tori. Coffee date tomorrow. Tori is her former friend who she dropped for being too pretty. Tori's actually super cool and we always got along great. You wouldn't. Watch me. She started ugly crying right there in the hallway. Not sad tears. Angry, entitled, how dare the world not revolve around me tears. I'll tell everyone you're abusive. Me. Go ahead, I'll share the screenshots of you and Jake planning your little sleepover while you were still living with me. Nobody will believe you. Your friend group already knows. Mia texted me an hour ago, apologizing for Kendra's behavior and saying she's not letting her stay anymore because I don't support cheaters. That was true. Mia saw the screenshots I posted in response to Kendra's "My ex is crazy" Facebook post. Deleted the post real quick after that. Update 2. The entitlement reached nuclear levels. So Kendra's been couch surfing. Jake's girlfriend kicked him out, so he's at his mom's. Kendra tried to stay with him there, but his mom said absolutely not. She's bounced between 3 different friends in 2 days because she apparently becomes unbearable within hours. But yesterday, she pulled something that even surprised me. I get a call from my credit card company about suspicious activity. Someone tried to use the emergency card I'd canceled to book a hotel room. When that failed, they tried to apply for a new card using my SSN. Yeah, she tried identity theft. Lucky for me, I'd already put a freeze on my credit after canceling her card. The application was flagged and denied, but the attempt was logged. Called the non-emergency police line, filed a report. The detective said attempted identity theft is a felony, asked if I wanted to press charges, said I'd think about it. Then I get a call from my mom. Mom, Kendra just called me crying. Of course she did. She says you made her homeless. Me, she made herself homeless when she decided to spend the night at Jake's. Good. I never liked her. Wait, what? She was a leech, honey. I'm glad you finally grew a spine. Your dad and I were taking bets on how long you'd put up with her crap. You could have warned me. Would you have listened? No. Exactly. By the way, she asked me for money. She what? Said you owed her 3 months of support to get back on her feet. I laughed and hung up. I love my mom. But the best part came this afternoon. I get a LinkedIn notification. Kendra's boss, Walter, viewed my profile. Then he messages me. Walter, hey, odd question. Is everything okay with Kendra? She listed you as her emergency contact and for reference on a salary advance request. We broke up 2 days ago when she decided to stay at her coworker Jake's house. Jake from accounting? That's the one. They both called in sick today and yesterday. Interesting coincidence. We have a strict fraternization policy. I'm aware. Thank you for the information. 2 hours later, Kendra calls from an unknown number. Screaming. Kendra, you got me fired. You got yourself fired by dating a coworker. I wasn't dating him. Your boss seems to think otherwise. How am I supposed to live without a job? Maybe Jake can support you. Oh wait, he got fired too. This is all your fault. Me no, this is all your fault. You chose Jake, you chose to lie, you chose to play games. Every consequence you're facing is from your choices. I'm going to sue you for ruining my life. With what money? And which lawyer is going to take the case of I cheated and faced consequences? She screamed something incoherent and hung up. But wait, there's more. Remember Tori? We had coffee. She told me everything. Apparently, Kendra had been bragging to their friend group about how she had me wrapped around her finger and was setting up Jake as a backup in case she found someone better. She called me her starter boyfriend and said she was practice dating with me. Tori showed me the group chat screenshots. My favorite message from Kendra. He's so stupid. Pays for everything and thinks I'm actually gonna marry him, lol. Jake's already planning our future once I dump this loser. Tori, I wanted to tell you months ago, but I didn't have proof. I'm sorry. Me, don't be. I needed to learn this lesson myself. She's been texting the group non-stop about how you're evil and abusive. And? Everyone's ignoring her. We all saw the screenshots of her and Jake. Plus, she admitted the whole staying at Jake's thing was to make you jealous. We're done with her drama. The coffee date went really well, actually. Tori's funny, smart, has her own career, own apartment, own car. We're going to dinner Friday. Kendra found out. Small friend group. Latest text from another unknown number. You can't date my friend. Blocked. Final update. This will be my last update because the Kendra saga has reached its pathetic conclusion. So after getting fired, having Jake dump her, his mom threatened to kick him out if he kept seeing that homewrecker, and being rejected by every friend she tried to stay with, Kendra did what every entitled person does. She tried to force her way back. She showed up yesterday with a U-Haul. A U-Haul. Claimed she was moving back in, and I had no legal right to keep her out. She brought Muscle, her cousins Rodney and Dirk. 3 people to intimidate one guy. Except I wasn't alone. I was having lunch with my buddy Carlos, he's a cop, off duty, and my brother Felix, 6'3", powerlifter. We were watching the game when we heard commotion outside. Kendra's cousin Rodney was trying to jimmy my lock, while Dirk was loading my patio furniture into the U-Haul. Kendra was directing them like she owned the place. Carlos stepped outside. "Gentlemen, that's breaking and entering, and that's theft. I suggest you stop." Rodney, "Who the hell are you?" "Shows badge, someone who's about to arrest you if you don't put that furniture back." They put the furniture back real quick. "I have rights. I lived here." "Ma'am, I understand you were a guest who left voluntarily. You have no legal claim to this property." "He has my things." "Me, everything of yours was delivered to Jake's address last week. My grandma's necklace is in there." "You mean the necklace you're wearing right now?" She looked down at her chest where, yes, she was wearing the necklace she was trying to claim I had. "Kendra, that's a different one." Felix laughed. "Wow, she's really bad at this." The cousins started backing away, realizing this wasn't going their way. "Dirk, Kendra, you said he stole your stuff." "I have receipts from the locksmith, photos of her belongings delivered to Jake's, and her text saying she was staying there. Want to see?" "We're out. Sorry, man. She said you were holding her hostage." They left, with the U-Haul. Left Kendra standing there. But here's the grand finale. Remember the identity theft thing? I decided to press charges. Not out of spite, but because she tried again 2 days ago, this time attempting to open a phone plan in my name. Got a call this morning from Detective Morrison. They arrested her last night. She's being charged with 2 counts of attempted identity theft, 1 count of fraud, 1 count of harassment. She'd been calling my work, pretending to be my wife with emergencies. Her bail was set at $5,000. Guess who called me? Darlene. "You need to bail her out." Me? Why would I bail out someone who committed crimes against me? She's learned her lesson. Has she? Because she tried identity theft twice and harassment multiple times. This will ruin her life. She ruined her own life. What do you want from us? Nothing. I want nothing. I want to never hear from any of you again. She loved you. She loved my apartment and my money. Big difference. According to the detective, if convicted, she's looking at probation, restitution, and possibly some jail time if she violates probation. It'll definitely affect her ability to get jobs, especially in finance, where she wanted to work. Jake reached out one last time. "This is all your fault." "How's living with your mom?" "Meek, your girlfriend dump you? Job prospects looking good?" "Go to hell." Already been there. It was dating Kendra. Blocked him too. As for me, life's good. Tori and I are taking things slow, but she's amazing. Actual partner material, pays for dates, has ambitions, doesn't play games. My apartment is peaceful. My bank account is recovering. My credit is locked down tight. Kendra's last text before her arrest was, "You'll never find anyone like me." Thank God for that. Lesson learned. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. When they tell you they're staying at another person's house for the night, help them make it permanent. Thanks for following this wild ride. I'm done with drama and ready for a boring, stable relationship with someone who doesn't think love means mind games and manipulation. My girlfriend texted, "Pack your stuff. I'm bringing someone home tonight." I replied, "Already packed." Then I left the keys to the apartment I'd been paying for on the counter. Her someone left when the landlord showed up at 9 a.m. asking why rent wasn't paid. I, 26 male, was sitting at my desk working from home when the text came through. Tuesday, 3:24 p.m. Been with Jenna, 24, for 2 years, living together for the past 8 months. Pack your stuff. I'm bringing someone home tonight. Don't make this awkward. I stared at my phone, read it 3 times. This wasn't a joke. Jenna didn't do humor like this. My hands were surprisingly steady as I typed back. Already packed. Because here's the thing. I'd been planning to leave anyway. Just hadn't pulled the trigger yet. The relationship had been dying for months. She'd been increasingly dismissive, treating me like furniture that occasionally paid bills. Going out till 4 a.m. with friends I'd never met, taking calls in the bathroom with the shower running. But this text, this was the gift I needed. See, while Jenna thought she was the queen of this castle, she'd forgotten one crucial detail. I was the only name on the lease, had been since day one. When she moved in, we'd talked about adding her, but she said why bother with paperwork. I'd been covering the full $2,100 rent because she was between jobs. For 6 months now. Her contribution? Occasionally buying groceries with her parents' money. I didn't pack my stuff, I packed hers. Took me about 2 hours. Her clothes, makeup, that expensive hair straightener, the ring light for her influencer post that had 300 followers. All of it went into the boxes I'd been saving in the closet, neatly labeled bedroom, bathroom, living room. Left them stacked by the door. Then I called my landlord, Mr. Rodriguez. Good guy, always been straight with me. Hey, Mr. Rodriguez? Quick question. If someone's been living in my apartment but isn't on the lease, what's the policy? They're a guest. No legal rights to the property. Why? You having issues? My ex-girlfriend needs to collect her things. Want to make sure everything's above board. Ex? Sorry to hear that, kid. But yeah, she's got no claim to the unit. You need me to be there when she gets her stuff? Actually, that might be helpful. She's planning to bring someone over tonight. Around what time could you swing by tomorrow morning? I'm doing maintenance checks at 9 a.m. anyway. I'll start with your unit. Perfect. I grabbed my laptop, my documents folder, and a duffel bag of clothes. Called my buddy Tom, who'd been offering me his spare room for weeks, saying I needed to get away from Jenna's toxicity. Remember that spare room? I'm taking you up on it. Finally, what happened? I'll explain over beer. Before leaving, I did 3 things. 1. Took photos of everything, every room, every corner. Timestamp evidence of the apartment's condition. 2. Left the keys on the counter with a note. As requested, I've packed and left. Your belongings are by the door. Lease is in my name only. Please be out by 9 a.m. tomorrow when the landlord arrives for inspection. Best wishes with your new situation. 3. Changed my Netflix, Hulu, and Wi-Fi passwords. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Absolutely. By 5 p.m. I was at Tom's, cold beer in hand, watching my phone blow up. Update 1, next day. The text avalanche started around 8 p.m. that night. Where are you? This isn't funny. Answer me. You can't just leave. We need to talk about this. Baby, please, I didn't mean it like that. Then the calls started. 23 of them. I didn't answer a single one. Tom was reading them over my shoulder, laughing his ass off. She really thought she could kick you out of your own apartment. Around 11 p.m., the tone shifted. You're being so immature. A real man would face this. I'm going to call the cops for theft. Those are my things you packed. You have no right to touch my stuff. That last one made me actually laugh out loud. The audacity. Then came the voice message from an unknown number at 1 a.m. It was a dude's voice. Hey man, this is Dylan. I'm with Jenna. She says you took her stuff and locked her out. That's messed up. You need to come back and sort this out, like adults. Dylan. So that's who she was bringing home to my apartment. I didn't respond, but I did screenshot everything for my records. The real entertainment started at 9:07 a.m. when Mr. Rodriguez showed up. Jenna started texting frantically. WTF, the landlord is here. He says I'm not on the lease. You didn't tell me he was coming. This is harassment. Dylan left, you asshole. I have nowhere to go. Mr. Rodriguez called me around 9:30. Son, your girlfriend is having a complete meltdown. She's claiming she lives here, but I've explained she's not on any paperwork. I've given her an hour to remove her belongings. Ex-girlfriend. And thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. She also tried to say you were the one not on the lease. I had to show her the documentation. The young man with her looked very uncomfortable and left about 5 minutes ago. Dylan bounced the moment he realized Jenna had been lying about whose apartment it was. Beautiful. Then came the call from Jenna's mom, Diane. I actually picked this one up because I'd always liked Diane. Honey, what's going on? Jenna's hysterical, saying you threw her out. I forwarded her the screenshot of Jenna's original text. Long pause. She sent this to you? Yesterday afternoon, while I was working. Oh honey, I'm so sorry. She told me you cheated and she caught you. Diane, I've been paying her rent for 6 months while she finds herself. I've never cheated. She texted me to leave so she could bring Dylan over. Dylan? Who's Dylan? That's what I'd like to know. Another long pause. I'll come get her, and her things. I'm sorry, sweetheart, you deserve better. Around noon, Jenna sent one last barrage. You've ruined everything. Dylan won't talk to me now. I'm homeless because of you. I hope you're happy. You'll never find anyone like me. I responded once, I know. That's the point. Then I blocked her number. Update 2, 1 week later. Thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. Wednesday morning, I get a call from my boss. Someone had sent an anonymous email to HR claiming I was unstable and violent and had thrown a woman onto the street. The email included selective screenshots of Jenna's texts, making it look like I'd randomly kicked her out, conveniently omitting her original message. Fortunately, my boss knows me well. I showed him the full conversation, including the timestamp of her original "pack your stuff" text sent while I was logged into our work system from home. Jesus, he said. She really tried to play you like that? And now she's trying to get me fired. Don't worry about it. I'll handle HR. Document everything, though. But Jenna wasn't done. Thursday, I started getting Venmo requests. Rent assistance, $2,100. Emotional damage, $500. Moving expenses, $300. Time wasted, $1,000. Each one with increasingly unhinged notes about how I owed her for establishing residency and domestic partnership rights. I screenshotted them all and sent them to a lawyer friend who literally laughed. She has absolutely nothing. She was a guest. Keep those, though, in case she escalates. Friday brought a new development. Tom showed me Jenna's Instagram story. She'd posted a crying selfie with the caption, "When you think you know someone for 2 years and they leave you homeless overnight. Narcissistic abuse is real. #domestic violence survivor starting over." The comments were mixed. Some of her friends were rallying around her with "men are trash" energy. But then something interesting happened. Dylan's ex-girlfriend found the post and commented, "Is this why Dylan was at some random apartment at 1 a.m. last Tuesday, when he was supposedly at his brother's?" The comment got deleted, but not before several people saw it and started asking questions. Turns out, Dylan had a girlfriend of 3 years. Had. By Saturday, the narrative was crumbling. One of Jenna's friends, Alicia, who I'd always got along with, messaged me. "Hey, just wanted you to know not everyone's buying her story. She told 3 different versions at brunch. First you cheated, then you were abusive, then you were controlling. Also, she admitted she'd been talking to Dylan for months. Sorry you had to deal with this." Sunday afternoon, I get a text from an unknown number. "This is Dylan. I want to apologize. She told me it was her place and you were a stalker ex who wouldn't leave. I didn't know the situation. I'm dealing with my own mess now thanks to this. She played us both." I didn't respond, but I did appreciate the confirmation that she'd been lying to everyone. Monday, the grand finale. Jenna's dad, Robert, called me. Robert's a stand-up guy, old school, believes in accountability. "Son, I need to apologize for my daughter. Diane showed me everything. We're mortified. I appreciate that, Robert. I want you to know we're not enabling this. She's staying with us, but she's got 30 days to find a job in her own place. No more free rides." "You don't have to." "Yes, I do. You supported her for 6 months while she lied to us about working. That ends now. Also, did she really try to get you fired?" "She did." He sighed heavily. "We've failed somewhere as parents. I'm sorry, son. You're a good man. Don't let this sour you on relationships. That actually meant a lot." Final update, 3 weeks later. Life has a funny way of serving justice. Remember Dylan? Well, his now ex-girlfriend reached out to me. Not for anything romantic, she just wanted to compare notes. Turns out Jenna had been promising Dylan she was single, living alone, and that I was just some creepy ex who kept showing up. She'd been meeting him at hotels for months, paying with a credit card her parents didn't know about. The ex-girlfriend, Mika, was savage. She put together a whole timeline with receipts and posted it in their friend group's chat. Jenna's reputation imploded overnight. Even her ride-or-die friends started distancing themselves when they realized how many lies she'd been telling. But the real karma came from an unexpected source, the apartment building. Mr. Rodriguez called me last week. "Hey, I wanted to check in. You still interested in the unit?" "Actually, yeah, Tom's great, but I miss having my own space." "Good, because I have a situation. Your ex-girlfriend showed up yesterday with a rental application. Used you as a reference, if you can believe that. I actually laughed. She what? She also claimed she'd been a tenant for 8 months. When I told her I knew she was never on the lease and reminded her about the scene she caused, she accused me of discrimination and threatened to sue. Of course she did. Well, I've banned her from the property. Thought you should know in case she tries to contact you. She did try. Created a fake Instagram account to message me. You've destroyed my life. I can't get an apartment anywhere because I have no rental history. This is your fault. I didn't respond, but I did notice something interesting. She'd tagged herself at a new job, a coffee shop downtown. I know the owner through my work. Without saying anything negative, I mentioned I knew someone who worked there. He laughed and said, "Yeah, your ex. She lasted 3 days, showed up late twice, and told a customer our coffee was beneath her standards. We let her go." The last I heard from Diane, Jenna was still living with them, still unemployed, and had started selling her designer bags and shoes to make ends meet. Robert stuck to his guns. She had to pay rent or leave. She chose to pay rent, which meant goodbye to the lifestyle she'd been living on everyone else's dime. Dylan moved to another city for a fresh start. AKA his ex-girlfriend made their breakup very public. As for me, I'm back in my apartment. Got a promotion at work. Turns out handling a crazy ex with grace impressed my boss. Started dating casually, nothing serious. Just coffee and conversation with people who actually have jobs and don't text their partners to leave so they can bring randoms home. Tom summed it up best over beers last night. She really thought she was the main character in everyone's story. Yeah, well, she learned otherwise. Dude, the fact that she tried to rent your own apartment, that's next-level delusion. The best part? If she'd just broken up with me like a normal person, I probably would have helped her with first month's rent somewhere else. I'm not heartless. But instead, she tried to power play you out of your own home, and played herself right into her childhood bedroom with a curfew and chores. We clinked beers to that. Looking back, that text, "Pack your stuff," was the best message she ever sent me. It revealed who she really was and freed me from a relationship where I was nothing more than a wallet with occasional benefits. She wanted me to pack my stuff and leave? I did her one better. I packed her stuff and reclaimed my life. Her entitlement was her downfall. She genuinely believed she could text me to leave my own apartment, bring another guy there, and I'd just... what? Slink away quietly? Pay for the privilege of being displaced? Nah. Actions have consequences. She learned that at 9 a.m. when Mr. Rodriguez knocked on the door she thought was hers. Edit. Since a lot of people are asking, yes, this is 100% legal. She was never on the lease, never paid rent, was legally a guest. I gave her more notice than required, which was none, and didn't touch any of her belongings except to pack them safely. The landlord handled the actual removal. Stay smart, people. Always know your rights.